Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures, and Happy New Year once again. I really am in the same year as you this time. We've just literally gone into national lockdown here in England, so I'm going to spend a lot of my time, even more of my time than before, in my craft room and sharing my new projects with you. But first of all, I thought I'd share the end of this project, which is my Christmas journal, which is now finished. I showed you the first part of it on Christmas Eve, and now I've completely finished it. I've done nothing else but working on this for the last couple of weeks so that I can move on into the new year and put all my Christmas stuff away. So here it is, my journal. It's really fat, but it's full of all our Christmas memories from this year. Everything that happened has gone in here, which I think would be a nice keepsake for the future. You know, maybe they'll want to read what happened in the year of COVID over Christmas. So I thought I'd just quickly, the tie I had on it before and wasn't long enough because it got so fat. So this is a lovely piece of sari silk I bought from a company here called Yarn, I think, or something like that. Anyway, so that's that, and I'll take it up from where I left off the last time I was with you, which is on December the 15th with the Christmas hat. Moving on to the 16th. Now I've stuck with the die cutting of the numbers throughout the whole of the journal. I thought it just kept it a bit of a theme going. So I've either die cut these large numbers, or I've also done smaller numbers on days when it seemed more appropriate. But mostly I've used these large dies for my dates. So this was the 16th, so this is the latest antics of Patrick the Elf, and this is just showing Alyssa joining in and building her own tower like his, so it was just a little bit of cuteness there. This was my belly band. I love this belly band. I don't know why, I just thought I just loved it. And I did have the big flip out envelope thing, I don't know if you remember, that I made, where it all flips down and you can fill it with photos and things, but I didn't actually have anything to put at this stage. There wasn't enough to use that for. That appears later in the journal, where I did have a story to tell. So I've literally just put a photograph in here of all the gifts. This was the day I finished wrapping all the gifts, so I just put a picture of all the gifts that I'd wrapped, put them all on the table in the kitchen, in the dining room, and that's them. So there's one of those little numbers there, day 16, because that would be, so that's a case where the big number just didn't fit. Day 17, more naughtiness from Patrick the Elf in Alyssa's snack cupboard. Where he's been hiding this time. So every morning Jenny would bring him down, and there'd be a search to see what Patrick had been up to during the night, and she would find him. And here is where I did a little bit of drawing. I'd been watching Roxy Creations, as I do all the time, and she's been doing some drawing in her Christmas journal, and I thought I'd give it a go as well. So every now and again I've done a little bit of drawing, and so here I just did some holly and poinsettia because it matched what was already on the page. So I did that, just filled it out a little bit because there wasn't a lot to say on this day. This is the 18th, using some of Rachel's lovely digitals. She did a new digital with all embroideries and doilies and things that she'd created and made into a digital kit. So I bought that and I started using it because I just really liked it. So that will start appearing a bit more in the journal. So there's that. This was the day. This is the 18th. So I finished the sewing journal on this day, even though you're now seeing it being uploaded through January. This was the day it actually got finished. So I put a quick picture of it in there. Really pleased that it finally was done. And so that afternoon, again inspired by Rachel, I went on and did one of the little tutorials by Ellen Crimmy Trent. She does these little painting tutorials, and I don't do painting. I'm rubbish at drawing and stuff like that. But I thought I'd give it a go because I happen to have a little bit of watercolour paper, and I got some really cheap watercolour paints. I mean, really the most basic watercolour palette paints that you could buy from Amazon, and I hardly ever use them. And I gave it a go, and I was quite pleased how it turned out. There's her little Rudolph on a sledge. So I thought I'd stick it in here because it was quite fun to do, and I'm going to give it a go and do a few more of those. I think just for something different. You know, you just got to try these things. And she really explains how to draw, because I cannot draw to save my life, but she tells you how to do it, how to do the shapes, and so I was really chuffed with how that turned out. So I just put that on here as well. And this was then the 19th. So it started well. This is Patrick on the computer reporting back to Santa over Zoom, which I think is something that Alyssa wouldn't really have understood right now, but she might get in the future, that this was the age of Zoom, and that was the only way that Patrick could communicate with Santa was over Zoom. So I thought that was quite funny. Did a little bit of drawing of Christmas light things there. It's just fun to do. I mean, I can't draw, as I say, but I enjoy doing that. Hannah and George, my youngest daughter, they had decided that this was going to be their Christmas weekend, that they were going to do their presents, they were going to do their Christmas dinner, because they were both going to spend Christmas separately with their own families. That was the decision they'd made. So this was them having a nice Christmas walk. They'd had their presents that morning. They were going to have their Christmas dinner that night. So I wrote about all that behind here, about what they were planning to do. That was early in the, on Christmas morning, on the 19th in the morning. And then in the afternoon, in the middle of the afternoon, we had the Prime Minister come on television and basically cancelled Christmas for everybody. Well, at least everybody in the south, most of the south of England, which is all of us. So I've just put here, Christmas is cancelled. And there's a flip up here, and I've written about what happened, how he decided. I mean, and it's perfectly justified, and we all got it. The cases in this area, because there's a new variant here, that the virus has mutated or something, and it's now 70% more transmissible than it was. The cases have just gone up ridiculously, and in this area, particularly where I live, in this district, it was one of the highest in the country. I mean, it was getting really scary here, so we weren't going out anyway. So in some ways it was a bit of a relief to be told we couldn't get together, but at the same time we were all absolutely gutted, as I think I explained on my last video. And I had a planner on my wall. It's just a chalkboard planner for the week, and I'd been writing in, I think the day before, all the things I needed to do of the week leading up to Christmas, things like getting the freezer out the turkey on Tuesday, so that I didn't forget, because it can take a couple of days because it's a big one to defrost, and so I need to remember to take it out, and we had to move the furniture around. I explained all this on my last video. So I'd done a planner for the week, and that evening I just came in and put a great big cross through the planner and thought, well, that's that, not doing any of that. So I just photographed it afterwards and popped it in here. That was the day it was all cancelled. Planner crossed out. That was the end of that. So that was the day Christmas was cancelled. So absolutely the right thing to do, but it didn't make it any easier for us to deal with. So so this was, I mean, after that there wasn't really much happening. I think we were all in a bit of shock. So all I have to report is the antics of Patrick, who kept on visiting every day. Here, they decided, Hannah and George had their Christmas dinner on the next day, on the Sunday. So the Saturday was the day they were going to have it. They just didn't have the heart for it, so they had it on the Sunday, on the next day, because they'd got all the stuff. So they thought, we better cook it. So they had their Christmas dinner a day later than planned. And then this was the 21st. So Patrick's. I thought this was, he's climbing up, this is going up, this is the drinks cupboard up here. he's found a way by using Christmas bows to stick on his feet, and he's climbing up to the drinks cupboard. I thought that was quite funny. I think a lot of this stuff was probably lost a bit on Alyssa, some of the jokey stuff, but I'm sure Hannah, Jenny and Gary had lots of fun coming up with these ideas. And then on the 21st, I don't even know what I put on here. So this was the Monday, the 21st. So here is all the presents that I'd wrapped. I had them all packaged up into boxes. So this is all Jenny and Gary and Alyssa's, all in the boxes and bags here. And this is Hannah's box, all packaged up ready, because Hannah was coming to collect everything and deliver them for us to everybody. So I was explaining that on there. Because she had decided that we were no longer allowed to go. Well, I wasn't going anyway. We weren't going to the supermarket. She wouldn't let her dad go to the supermarket anymore because it was too risky. He could pick it up and bring it home. And, you know, we didn't know how it would affect him. And I'm described as clinically extremely vulnerable to the virus. So I'm not allowed to go anywhere anyway. So she decided she was going to do our shopping for us, basically. There's a bit more drawing that I did around the edge. So here she is, bless her. She got up at the crack of dawn because she was worried about crowds and queuing with everything that was going on. So she'd got up really, really early and went to the supermarket with our list. And this is her arriving. She brought us some flowers, which was so sweet. She wore her mask, so she wouldn't risk anything. And so she unloaded. She picked up all the presents for us from Jenny and Gary, and her own presents, and she brought those as well as our shopping. And this is her just getting everything out the boot of the car, all masked up, trying to keep us all safe. Complete hero. I mean, this was all her. She was being very anxious about the whole Christmas thing, I think, and in some ways I think she was as relieved as anybody that that the decision had been taken out of her hands whether to spend it with us, because much as she wanted to, she was also worried about, whether any of us would pick up the virus. So there we are. So then she bought all our shopping, and then she brought in all our presents, and then she took all the stuff that I'd packed up back to Jenny and delivered those back. So she was being our little Christmas elf, we called her that day. So back to the antics of Patrick. He's now up in the Christmas tree that morning, and this is the 23rd, and Patrick there. This is our little Lissy. They're doing some baking. Jenny and Alyssa do a lot of baking together. They love that. And I think this is obviously the favourite bit, is licking the spoon. And they were making a Christmas pudding that was a recipe from Gary's family that was you put in the fridge rather than cooking it. It's a fridge one. So they decided they were going to make it anyway to bring with them when they came. So Jenny decided to make it, and she and Alyssa made it together, which is lovely. So that goes on there. And last visit from the naughty elf. There's a pile of loo rolls sort of done up like a snowman, I guess. So that's just saying that that was his last visit, and now he was going back to the North Pole to report on whether she'd been a good girl. And Alyssa had been really good with him, understanding that if she touched him, he'd lose his magic. So she didn't. She was being very good. And I think he had a lot to report, and this was just explaining all about how good she'd been over the month and all the good things that she'd been a very good girl, and that's what he had to report. And this was the next day when they finished off their Christmas pudding. So even though it looks like a Christmas pudding with the traditional custard on top, like a cooked one, this was actually a fridge one with, I think, a topping, some sort of white chocolate topping or something. So she looks very pleased with that, and especially since she was allowed to lick the spoon. Usually you get a picture of her licking the spoon, or we get a video of her licking at the bowl or something. That's her favourite part of doing the baking with her mummy. So, and I think they also on Christmas Eve, they also apparently they also made gingerbread men together. We didn't get a picture of that, but Jenny told me that's what they were planning to do, make little gingerbread men. So they had a fun day on Christmas Eve. And this is us on Christmas Eve. We went for a walk. It was very cold. It was very grey, but we got out and got a bit of exercise. I thought it was necessary to do so. And I think on all these tags, I think that's just what I wrote about our day. I've managed to write a bit on every tag. There's a tag in each of these. There's that one. Oops. That's picked up from the flower. And a tag on there. So I just wrote about our day. Oh, and in here, what did I do in here? Oh, this was our Christmas tree. that evening. So it had a few presents under it. They were the ones that that Hannah had brought from the family, and so there was just a few presents under the tree. So it looked a bit sadder than it should have done, because it would have been absolutely heaving, but never mind. And that's what I wrote about on the back, and what's been going on generally in the outer world. I managed to fill everything that was all the tags and things. Sometimes I'd look at them and think, oh gosh, what am I going to do with all these? You know, I don't know I haven't got anything to fill all these tags with, but I did just wrote about what was going on, and it managed to fill it. Then there was Christmas Eve evening. I'm still on Christmas Eve. We played Scrabble in memory of his mum. Richard's mum passed away in October, so and she loved a game of Scrabble at Christmas, so we played it in her memory. And then this was a flip out. Oh, this was just me with a glass of wine in my hand, saying cheers. And here we are. Here's the little envelope that I made that would have gone in the belly band earlier. Oh gosh, it looks like it needs sticking down. Might be a little bit of remedial work to do on this, just a few repairs here and there. That's what happens when you keep going through it. So what I put in here was over the video, we saw Alyssa opening her Christmas Eve box. I did her a box this time, which I hadn't done before. It's a fairly new thing to us, and I don't know whether it's something that you've heard of, but I hadn't done it before, and we didn't have it when our girls were young, where you give the kids a little box of things for perhaps some new pyjamas or things to play with that evening, just to keep them occupied on Christmas Eve, take their mind off things, I guess. So I thought I'd like to do it. It's the sort of thing I would like, I think I may have mentioned it in my last video. So here was the box that I made. Well, I didn't make the box, I bought the box, I filled it. So this is her opening the box and just finding all the things that were in it. And her favourite thing, which I knew it would be, was a really soft, cuddly Rudolph, and she's given him a big hug. She really loved him. He was really soft. I knew she'd like him. So she had him, and then there was a little Christmas hat, so she was wearing that. There was some chocolate, and there were also the Christmas pyjamas, which she also insisted on putting on as well straight away, and wore them that night. So that was great. That was nice to see her enjoying that. That was even though we couldn't be with her while she opened it, we did get to see her open it on video. Well, I think it was over WhatsApp. I think we did it on a WhatsApp call. So and one of them took pictures as well. So I've got a lovely record of that. So that was her Christmas Eve box. So I've got that all recorded in there. That was nice. Nice to see her enjoying that. So I just tucked it in that pocket there. Okay, so now we're on Christmas Day. So I just did a thing. We had an early morning, or fairly early morning, messenger call over Facebook. So I took a picture. This is on my laptop, so everybody's in it. We're all in the. So I just said Merry COVID Christmas, because this is how you have to spend Christmas in the time of COVID. You do it all over whatever means, over Zoom, over Messenger, over WhatsApp, whatever. We had a couple of calls that day. I think we had another one later in the day. But that was the morning one where we got to see Alyssa opening her presents from us. This was the main thing we got her, which was a baby nursing set, which she really loved. And I mean, as soon as they uncovered it, she was in there, she was playing with it. She just ignored the rest of us once. She loves playing with her dollies, and you can see she's really into it there. So there's a few pictures of that. This is a little booklet I just made of her opening her stocking, Christmas morning. That's obviously before we got to see her. It was the first thing in the morning. It's probably about, 6 o'clock or something. Well before we were up. So just a few pictures of her opening her stocking. And I just put it into a little booklet. So that's that. And the little tag. Don't know what's on the tag. What's on the tag? Just a bit. Oh yeah, just a writing about the Christmas stocking. So there we are. So that's in there. This was our Christmas Day. We went for a Christmas walk, met up with Richard's brother, who lives on his own, and we thought it was, rather than him coming to us and us all sitting around being miserable about and thinking about who wasn't with us, we thought we'd get out and have a nice walk, and which we did, and it was actually a beautiful day. It was about the only really nice day. So that was quite nice. It was sunny, but it was really cold. And we had mince pies. We sat on this big log. Well, it's a fallen tree trunk, I think. And we had mince pies, we had Christmas cake, and we had a little tipple, and everybody who were passing by were wishing everybody else happy Christmas. It was quite a nice atmosphere, big open space, so you felt quite safe. So I wrote about all of that here. A couple of pictures of us. And this is it's a little socially distanced selfie. So there's me and Richard at the front, and then Patrick, and the Patrick of the original Patrick. This was. Sort of standing a bit further back, but he was still in the selfie, so we called that it was a socially distanced selfie. We were trying to keep a bit of distance, the best we could, while we were on our walk, and it was lovely. We had a really nice, and it made a nice big chunk of the middle of the day, rather than us sitting at home and feeling a bit miserable. So then this was I think it's just a little bit about. This is the other half of the envelope pocket. This is the big tag that was in this envelope, and so I thought, well, what am I going to do with this? So I just put pictures of Richard in his new running gear. So basically everybody bought him running gear for Christmas this year, because he does like to go running, but he sometimes ends up going in the evening, especially when he's working, and it's really cold at the moment in the evenings, and he's been really cold going running, so because he only had like shorts and things, so we all bought him warmer running gear. So I think one of the girls bought him running trousers, and the other one bought him a nice long sleeve top, and I bought him the running light so that he could see where he was going in the dark. So, and he's tried them out, and he's really pleased with them. They work really well. So that's that. This is Alyssa opening more of her presents, and I did a little bit more drawing. I drew a few. Drew a few presents. They're not brilliant, but I still had fun doing it, so that's all right. It just fills a little hole. There wasn't much to say, just she's opening presents. And this is just a nice picture of the three of them together on Christmas Day, which I just think it's a lovely picture. So nothing to say about it, just a nice picture. And then this is me with my presents. I have a friend in Germany that we've been friends since we were 17. I mean, it's a very long time. I stayed with her on a school exchange trip many years ago, and we've just stayed in touch ever since. So she sent me some lovely Christmas biscuits that I think she must have made them, or I mean, I don't know what, but they are the most delicious Christmas cookies you can imagine. And quite a lot of them. In fact, I've still got some left. I've got them on my desk here, and I'm still working my way through them. They're absolutely delicious. And she also made me this bag. I'd made her a journal. She's the first person I made a journal for, and I sent it to her last Christmas. And I never heard from her. I never knew she even got it. And then she sent, with all these things, she sent a lovely letter saying how much she loved her journal. So I thought, well, at least I'm glad she got it. So, and she clearly, because she's a quilter, so I put a few quilting references and things in her journal, and she made me this beautiful bag. So a picture of that's gone in there. And then I had pyjamas from Hannah. That's right. And on the other side of the tag is my onesie that Jenny bought me. Well, I really wanted this. I'm actually wearing it today. It's not pyjamas, I hasten to add. It is sort of day wear, loungewear, and it's really, really warm, and it's very soft. And I thought I absolutely love that. I love both the things that they bought me, so that was really nice. It's just what I needed. Okay, so now I've just got to get this back in. I have trouble getting this in the pocket because it's one of those pockets that's got the sides folded in and it just catches. I think it's as far as it'll go. It goes in there. And this is a photograph of our television with the Christmas Chronicles coming up, because Jenny bought me a 3-month subscription to Netflix because we don't have Netflix, and I said how much I wanted to see this film, the 2 films, the Christmas Chronicles. So she bought me a subscription so I could trial having Netflix for 3 months and see whether I liked it, and then maybe we'll keep it. Maybe we'll carry on having that subscription. So that was the first thing I watched on my new subscription to Netflix. There we are, and there we go. And this is Hannah and George on their Christmas Day, opening their presents. Well, this is his present from us, which is a couple of things. And in here, I think this is all about Hannah. We don't have any pictures of Jenny opening her presents because they were so concentrating, obviously, on Alyssa and her, opening hers. And we didn't get any pictures of Jenny and Gary with theirs, which is fine. It's their focus was slightly different this year. So this is Hannah with some of her presents, and more pictures of Hannah and her presents. So yeah, mostly clothes. She always loves clothes. Our usual thing is we love to go shopping together for Christmas. I normally go and have a whole day shopping with Hannah, and we usually have a lovely time, have lunch, and I buy lots of things, well, clothes usually. We have a nice trying on day, and that's our normal Christmas. So it all had to be done online this year, but we managed to find things that she liked, so that was good. And here we are. That's it. Yep, this is it. We're on Boxing Day, or the 26th. And not much happening. There's just a few things. Both the girls decided they wanted to take up new hobbies, I think because of the lockdown and everything. So Hannah was the first one who decided she wanted to learn to knit. So I bought her a learn to knit kit, and this is her sending pictures that she made to start. She's really getting into it. And that inspired Jenny to ask for a crochet kit, a learn to crochet. And this is Jenny's little effort so far, doing a little bit of crochet. She decided that would be something she'd like to give a go to, so that was good. I'm really good because it's the sort of thing that I know my mum was really into all of this knitting and crochet and stuff, and I used to do it years ago, but I haven't got the hands for that now. So it's nice to see that they both wanted to give those things a try. So that's them. This was just a picture of Alyssa in the outfit that Hannah bought her for Christmas. It's a little nurse's outfit. She's got a doctor's set already, so that was dead cute. And so that's pretty much it. And all I've done on this last card on here is to explain that on the morning of Boxing Day, which is what we call the 26th over here, we were on a video call to our family. It was my husband's family, in his brother and wife, and in Australia. And Jenny got an email from nursery to say that a child in Alyssa's little group, I mean, they're set up I think they're in different rooms, and within the rooms they're in little groups of about 6 or 7, I think, or quite small groups, and a child within her actual group had, just before Christmas, tested positive for COVID. So as it turned out, it was a relief that, that we weren't all together on that day, because we'd have had that news and we'd have thought, well, we had no idea. We could have all been exposed to it if we'd been together for Christmas. And it just made the whole thing kind of make sense and make us realise just that it was absolutely the right thing to do. And I think it was just a relief that if we'd got that news and we'd all been together, we'd have all freaked out completely, I think. So as far as we know, everybody's fine. Gary has had to have a test because he's not been very well, but I think that's because he has he has sinus problems normally, and I think it's just his normal sinus problem. But he's been tested anyway. We don't know the result yet. But yeah, so that was the news that we got on Boxing Day that made it all kind of make sense, and we were quite glad that we had actually not been allowed to meet for Christmas, even though it was hard. We made the best of it, and I think we all had a as good a Christmas as we could have with not being together, and we're going to make up for it. Hopefully at Easter, because I've still got a very big turkey to be eaten, still in my freezer. Right, so that was it. That is our Christmas journal. Christmas is now done, and the next thing I'm going to do is show you all the things I'm going to use for my journal that I'm going to start very, very soon. So I'm just going to pause the video for a moment, and then I'll come back with all the stuff that I'm going to use in the wedding journal. Okay, so I'm back. Not that I went far, but I just brought all the things together. I think I'll start with the papers. Now, the reason I'm making a wedding journal is I've actually got a wedding to go to in June. Whether we'll make it or not, I'm not sure, because it's in the Greek island of Rhodes. It's not in this country, so we've got our tickets booked. We're hoping to go, but who knows what's going to happen. So the idea is that, we're all going to go and spend a week in Rhodes and celebrate the wedding. It's my nephew and his girlfriend, And really this journal is probably going to be more for her than for him. I can't imagine he'll particularly be interested, but I think she might enjoy it. So I thought it would be something different. I've not seen anybody do one of these, and I'm not going to try and find anybody else who's done a wedding journal on YouTube, because I thought it would just kind of, it would give me a complex about mine not being as good as theirs. So I thought I'll just do it my own way. I have been some of the things that I've seen I'm inspired by, as always, by Rachel from Roxy Creations, because I want to do a lacy cover, and I saw her do one a long time ago during her 100-day project. She did a lace cover, and I really liked it, and I had it in the back of my mind when I thought about doing this. I thought, I might try and do something like that. So that's the plan. Is I'm going to do a completely lace cover. And it keeps me awake at night trying to plan how I'm going to do it. So goodness knows how it will turn out. But anyway, in the meantime, I'll show you the papers that I found. I found a couple of really lovely digital kits. Found these before Christmas. I've been dying to kind of get started and to show you all of this, because I just think they're so beautiful. This one is by a company called Liana Scrap. So I'm assuming that the lady whose shop it is called Liana. And it's called Wedding Bliss, this kit. And it's really pretty. And I've double-sided all the pages. Because the kit does provide more plainer pages as well as the decorated ones, and I've mixed and matched, and I haven't always put the back one with the obvious one. I think this one actually does go with that one. I mean, they all mix and match anyway, so I've just double-sided all the pages. I think it's a really pretty kit. So that's that one, and there's this page, and I'll put that on the other side, which matches it. And there's this one. I put that on the back. And this page, that on the back. And this page. And it seems to be different eras. Some of the pages I thought I'm not sure I'm going to use as actual for the signature. Some I might just use for collaging things. This is a plainer one that I thought would be nice to have just a couple of plainer pages. So I'll just put some, this is a digital that I did where I just scanned in some laces. I've got quite a few of those, so I will be using some of those in the kit, in the journal as well. So I just put that on the back of that one. This one I think I'm not going to use as a part of the signature, because I'm not really all that keen on photographic things in a journal, particularly when it's for somebody in particular. I just think the photographs are too realistic. I prefer something a bit more sketchy, and these are not quite what I would want as in the journal as signature, but I can certainly use quite a lot of it for collaging. So that's that. This is another one. I think I actually printed this again, because this one I printed borderless, but I've lost a bit around the edge, and I think I have reprinted it. I think I am going to do this as one of the I missed it when I was printing it yesterday. I think I missed this one. I found it and I thought, oh yeah, I like that one as well. So I've reprinted that one, and that's going to be in the signature as well. So that's the first digital kit. So that's just papers in that kit. I mean, they're really, really pretty papers, but I think that's about 6 or 7 pages for the signature, so that's a good start. And then this kit is by Janie B Journals. Now, she's also the same lady whose kit I use for my Christmas journal, the Christmas bouquet kit, which was the one was like the main kit I used, with all the poinsettias and all the pretty things, the really pretty kit I used in my Christmas journal. And this was a wedding kit that she did, so I thought, right, I'm going to use this one as well. So this one hasn't got as many papers, but it's got a lot of ephemera, so that's quite handy. So I'll go just have a quick look through that. Isn't that beautiful? That's a really lovely page. And I just put some lacy digital on the back, one of mine. And again, this is it's a lovely one. Could almost looks like it could go in the middle of the journal, but I'm not quite sure at the moment whether that's what I will put in the middle. And that's again, this is part of the kit. This is the lacy digi that's in the kit that coordinates very well. There's another lovely page, and another digital from the kit, a backing digital from the kit. And this is another backing one, which is really pretty. I just really love that. I thought I'd just have that as a page on its own. With actually, this one is from because I thought I would dip into other kits that I have if they seem to go with the theme. And this is Roxy Creations pink and green kit. I printed that on the back because I thought that went quite well. The pink and green. There's a lot of green, there's pink. There's all in this journal, I'm going to have all the colours. It's all going to be pastel-y, but there will be blues and there will be peaches and there will be pinks, because I don't know what colours they're going to use in their for their wedding. So I'm going to just put all the colours in and not worry about it. This is more one, I really like it, but I think this is much more for use in collaging rather. It could be a page, but I think I'm going to use this for collaging. It's really pretty. I should probably print that twice. So that's that one. This is another one of the backing pages. Again, I think I'll use it because it's quite bold. I think it's a little bit too bold for me to use in the signature, but it will be great for using in the collaging because it does pick out. I think one of the pages does have these flowers in it. I'm not sure what flowers they are. They're really pretty. But you see, this has got this flower and this blue shade in there, so it will be quite nice to use for collaging. And then we get on to the ephemera. So we've got tags and tickets there. Really, really pretty. It's a very pretty kit. And then some pockets and some little journaling cards. Some more small pieces, some little tabs. They look like stamps. And some flags or banners. And then we've got pockets. It's a lovely pocket. Because I should probably put a pocket at the front. Envelope. That's what I meant to say. I think it's an envelope. Yes, it is an envelope. I think. Yes. I need to put a little letter in the journal. So there's a couple of envelopes that I might use one of those to explain what this is all about. Some lovely little journaling cards. Some bigger tags. And this is a pocket. Way around. That's a beautiful pocket. And then just some little, whoops, it's all the wrong way up. Just some little pieces. That's lovely. I'm never sure about bingo cards. I've never found a use for them. I don't really understand why they seem to appear in a lot of kits, and I've never really got the bingo card thing. Somebody might be able to explain to me why they appear in so many kits. I just think it's a little odd. Everything else is so beautiful. The bingo card, no, I won't be using that. So there's a couple of little plates here that say journal and love. Nice little clock. The rest of it absolutely gorgeous, but bingo card, no, not using that. So that's the kit from Janie B Journals. Where's me? Oh, there it is. That's really gorgeous. Another gorgeous kit. Then I also found this kit from Mrs Cogs called The Wedding. I wanted some images. If I do some make my own journaling cards and things, I should want some images and extra bits to decorate those with. So I had a look on Mrs Cogs, and she had a wedding kit, which is beautiful. Some of these images are just so gorgeous, from different eras. I may not use some of the darker ones, but I love all these. It's very much of the all sorts of different periods, I suppose. Oh, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Right, and yes, this is lovely, isn't it? They're all lovely, but I think obviously there are some that I won't use them all, but I will use quite a fair number of them. This one really appeals to me because when we got married, we got a wedding card with this image on it, I remember. It was just an image that we both really liked. I don't know why. It was just a beautiful card. I think it was one from one of our works. I can't remember, one of us, because it was a big card. And I remember we put it in a frame. We had it in a frame for quite a long while, just as a picture on the wall, because it was just such a beautiful, beautiful image. So I was really pleased to see that pop up. I would like to use that if I can. So that's the Mrs. Coggs images. She does some beautiful, beautiful things. You can always find something from her, I think. So that's those. I've got... Oh, these are some extra sheets of both the kits that either I misprinted or that didn't quite fit on the page, or that I wasn't too sure I was going to use. I put them in a separate little folder for collaging with. So this one was fine, but for some reason there was a... See, it just didn't... The corner didn't print properly, I'm not sure. And I thought, well, I can't put that in if this... Because then I've got to feel I've got to cover it up or something. So I thought, right, I'll just use it for collaging. So there's a whole little selection of extras there. Some digitals. So these are just the pieces of lace that I've scanned myself, which I think make quite nice. Sometimes they can make quite nice backgrounds for collaging, and I can also use them in a variety of ways. But mainly I'm going to use them for collaging. I think I might put one or two in the signature as well. I haven't quite decided which ones I'm going to use, but I've got a whole selection of those to use. And then I've got this. Hang on, I'll get these out of the way. I've got this Stamperia pad, and it's just so gorgeous. It's called Ceremony. They've got, I think there's another weddingy one, which is a bit more black and whitey, but I just thought the colours in this just went really well with the kits. Particularly with the Liana scrap kit. They're very much similar colours. And look, I mean, it's just... gorgeous. It's so beautiful. So I'm thinking I haven't really looked at it that closely. I thought I'd wait and look at it sort of with you. Don't know what that is. That's something from on my phone. Just sorry about that. So there's a variety of things I can use. There's some journaling cards. It's just so pretty. All of these lacy pages. So I could possibly make that a page. What I want to do is use one page at the beginning of the signature and possibly in the middle, depending on whether sorry, I get distracted. I've just got text messages coming through on my phone. Sorry about that. So I might, if there's one that's suitable, I might put one in the middle of the signature and one at the beginning. So that might work. So look at that, isn't that pretty? Might work at the beginning of the signature. That's really pretty. Then there's some journaling cards here. Oh gosh, they're so gorgeous. I just love this. Oh, look at this. Music paper. And again, you could use that at the beginning of the signature, and look at that inside with all the lace. And, oh, it's just one of those pads you just want to just sit and stroke, and it's beautiful. The little journaling cards with all the laces. I mean, this is the theme. You know, I want this to be a really lacy, really pretty, very tactile journal. That's my plan, and these cards just fit in with that so well. They've all got lacy, lacy bits on, and they're just gorgeous. That is pretty. Again, that would work really well, and it's got this lacy background. So it may be that I don't use it. I may not have one that's got a suitable middle page, and I've got that other one which is the marriage certificate, which might work well in the middle. So I may not use that in the middle. I might use it somewhere else depending on what else I find. But I should certainly be able to use it to make some journaling cards, I think, and some tags. Look at this. Oh, they're just So pretty. Oh, sorry, I'm going, going a bit overboard, but I just think this pad is just one of the most beautiful I've seen. Lots of little things I can cut out and put in. And this is just lace. There we are. So that's that pad. That's absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. And I can use all this stuff on the front page as well. What's on the inside of that? All right. So yeah. Yeah. So there's that. So I have that to use. I also have another wedding kit, which I've had for quite a while. It was for a project that I was going to do last year and never got around to doing, so I've never used it. This is a Kaisercraft kit, and it's a very different colour scheme, so I doubt very much if I'll be able to use much of it, because it's a lot of blacks, and yeah, it's a very different style, so I'm probably not going to use the papers, but I did think I might be able to use some of the stickers. Because there's like a wedding cake here, and there's an engagement ring, just a few stickers. There might be just a few little bits that I can put on to decorate some of the pages, and there's some words and things. I might be able to pop some of these things in just as a little bit of decoration. It depends on how it goes. But yeah, I think there's definitely a few things that I can use from here that I might be able to pop in. So that might be okay. I might be able to use some of that, but I don't think I'll be using an awful lot of it. Who knows? I mean, it's a lovely kit. It's just possibly not quite the right colour scheme, really. A bit too white and too much black, and a bit more modern, really, I suppose, than the other one, which is a bit more vintagey, I suppose, in style. It's just a softer looking kit, the other one, I think. So that one, I don't know. I may not be able to use much of that, but I might see if I can use some of it. So that's all the papers. Now the only other thing I have to show you is I did do a couple of Etsy orders just after Christmas, which have both come, which I'm really pleased about. Things that I'm just going to hopefully be able to use. Now this one is from Lace and Linen Designs. Oops. Going to put that over my dress there. So I've used this company before a couple of times. It's a UK Etsy store, and they always put in this lovely little pack. It's probably about the third order I've had, and she always pops in this little pack of goodies with her orders. Look, there's some beads, there's a little flower in there, there's a little button. I've actually got another one of their, little bags of goodies. No, it's not there. I thought I had it knocking around. I've got it somewhere. Another one of these little bag of goodies, and really, really sweet little things. Just a little extra thank you. So, but they do beautiful linen, not linen, lace. I bought a lot of laces and things from her. And this time I got this little pack of lacy scraps, really. I haven't looked at it, apart from to get it out of its envelope. So I thought I'd just quickly, if I can find a way into it, quickly have a look at it with you, because I just thought this would be perfect for bits of decoration on tags and things and pockets. Just these little pieces, and it's all vintage. Oh, there's a load of tags as well. I didn't even realise it came with tags, so I'll be able to use them at some of those possibly. But yes, so there's all sorts of a whole load of little pieces of lace, and oh, look at all these bits. So they'll all be able to be, and I'm going to make snippets and that kind of thing. Oh, look at that, is that pretty? I love snippets. I mean, you probably saw when I made my, well, you probably, if you're watching my journal, my sewing journal, there's a lot of this kind of stuff, lots of snippets going on it, as there was in my Christmas journal. I just love little bits of lace and material and fabric all along the edges of the pages and decorating the pockets. And this one is going to be even more. Oh, look at this. It's a cute little thing that's going to definitely, I don't know about the black piece, but most of this is definitely going to be used just to decorate. Be lovely on particularly on making little clusters and snippets. This would be perfect. All sorts of gorgeous things. A little bit of little broderie anglais there that might need a little bit of a press. I'm not sure. It looks quite old, that one. Looks really quite old. So yeah, these are going to be really, really useful on my snippets. I'm going to enjoy using these because there's just sometimes just that's all you need is a little piece, and there are obviously little bits of different stuff to what I've already got, so they'll be really good. So that is my little order from Lace and Linen Designs, but I've also had some really lovely bigger pieces from them. They do some gorgeous stuff. So that's them. Okay, and then the other order, again from a company I've used probably at least a couple of times before, and they're called Lulu Retro. I think I'm going to have to cut this, and look at that. I mean, I didn't unpack it because I just thought, look at that. It's got this little pair of scissors, and I just thought it was so beautifully packaged. I just thought I'd do it online. I'll do it on camera. I'm going to have to cut it. But yeah, look at that. Little pair of scissors. Really, really cute. So I'm going to keep that. One of these days I'm going to have to do another sewing journal because I've still got so much stuff left over from the last one. And this is just some fabric I ordered. I'll just snip that. I just saw it and I thought, oh, I've got to buy that. I don't normally buy larger pieces of fabric. Now this is the all right. This is Claire from Lulu Retro. Lulu Retro. I've used them quite a lot. Little Etsy company, and they do beautiful fabrics. Oh, look at this. So this is the small sample. Oh, look at this. It's just little like, oh, isn't that gorgeous? My goodness. These are just a little extra she's put in, I think. Isn't that pretty? Gosh, I might even use that. The idea was I bought this for the inside of the cover of the journal. This is probably enough, this piece, and it's pretty in itself, but this is the fabric I ordered, and she's obviously put a little extra sample of that in as well. But this is going to make a beautiful journal. I think again, here we go. Because I want to put lace on the outside, but I thought it'd be quite nice to have something really pretty and different on the inside. But clearly there's enough here to do a separate cover, another cover for another journal, because it is just beautiful. Look at that. And there's loads of it. I'm not very good at working out how much I'm ordering, but that is lovely, and that's going to be on the inside of my lacy journal. I think that would look lovely, and I think I've got enough to make. Gosh, don't know how many more journals. Because with this extra piece as well. Oh crumbs, that might even be enough on its own for the inside of the journal. I think it would. It would. Just need that. That's it. That's all I need. Beautiful. So I'm going to have to make sure I find a way to use some of this. That is lovely. Do like that. Anyway, so that's the last thing I have to show you. I haven't sorted out which laces I'm going to use. I've got to figure all that out for the actual cover. But there we go. That's my show and tell for my new wedding journal. So I'm really excited to get started on it. I'm going to be uploading. So the sewing journal will continue to appear, I think, every Monday, and then every Thursday, because I'm going to continue with my Monday and Thursday uploads. Thursday is going to be the wedding journal. So that's how I'm going to do it. And then once the sewing journal's finished, I've got another new journal that I want to make a start on. So that will carry on, possibly start doing that in February. So that's the plan, at least for the next couple of months. See how we get on. And there we are. Oh, and just in case you're interested, I have no news about my surgery. As far as I'm aware, is unlikely to happen anytime soon, because we're in complete lockdown now. I'm sure any kind of planned surgery is going to be on hold for some time. I'm not really anticipating getting it before the spring, possibly April, May. Don't know. I have got an appointment with my surgeon next week on the telephone, and he may be able to give me some idea, but I suspect he won't have any more idea than I do as to when it might happen. So I will keep you posted on that, but in the meantime, I'll just keep on doing this. And that's it, really. That's all I have to tell you, and all I have to show you for today. So thank you very much for joining me. Please do join me again next week, where I will be starting to work on my wedding journal. Not quite sure what I'm going to start with at the moment. I haven't quite decided whether I'm going to go launch into doing the cover yet, or whether I'm going to build up to that. But we'll see. So I'll see you then. Bye for now.